TSM will be starting on defense, Tempo Storm starting on attack. As such, TSM will lead off the bans. We're getting rid of their first attacker. Now, we've been seeing the bans be very different in Stage 2 when compared to Stage 1, and I think this is as a result of the new operators coming into play.
Oh, I completely agree with you, especially with this man right here, Ace. He's so powerful. He's actually the strongest hard breach, I believe, that we have access to right now, except for Maverick, obviously, because he doesn't have a counter. But Ace can do multiple walls all at the same time with those Selma charges. He has such an impact inside of a round.
Yeah, you could call Ace the most versatile of hard destructors. Now, he can get less drops than Hibana, but he can open up much larger holes. And I think that makes him, in general, a little bit more powerful. But the two are often compared to each other. Now, it really depends on what you're trying to use the tool for. Two hard destructors banned out and the Wamai. This is going to be a very grid-locky map. And what I mean by that is you've just gotten rid of many of the major hard destructors. You're getting rid of the Wamai, which is going to encourage more utility to be brought to soak up those explosives. The Kaid is a saving grace ban there. I think that that's really important given the two attacker bans because it's going to make hard destruction much more accessible. The overall ban phase here, I think, looks like it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to attack. That's the vibe I'm getting right now.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with the Kaid coming in. I mean, the Kaid ban, as you said, it's not the biggest thing, especially since Thatcher's on the board. Like, Thatcher deals with him very, very easily. No, but overall, the ban's definitely leaning towards the offense. But now we're jumping into rounds, folks. First one up for TSM on their defense, and we're headed to Gym Bedroom. We're already seeing that Goyo pick come out, 6 picking off of that Oryx.
Attackers need to locate and
so,
defuse as many bombs.
I think that's a smart 6 pick. The Oryx is, he's versatile as an individual, but he does not contribute much to the group. Now, if you take a look at this lineup, as you can see, there are 3 different operators that are going to be contributing chunks of utility that need explosives to dispatch. You got your Evil Eyes on Maestro, your Goyo shields on Geo, surprisingly, instead of Bolo. And you've got the Melusi on Achieved, who made it through the ban phase. So lots of stuff that needs to be destroyed. On the attacking side right now, we've got 2 sets of nades, or actually just 1 set of nades and the Zofia. So those EMPs are going to need to work double duty. Otherwise, Tempo's not going to be able to chew through all of this utility.
Well, Tempo Storm now on the field, so we'll see what they think about this. Gym Bedroom obviously going to be that first site once again. TSM just wrapping up some odds and ends inside of site. As of right now, Tempo just trying to figure some things out. This isn't the typical starting point for Clubhouse, but since most of the sites are playable, all except for Barstock, which we don't see too often, they're more than likely going to drone out the top floor and see exactly what's going on.
That drone out game is going to take some time. Bolo is going to try and poke at the attackers to slow them down as he plays over by New Blue. Dream's already made his way onto the catwalk. Confront Achieved later on. Look at that mirror window, though. Achieved is going to have some versatility in this engagement. He's got those holes above. He can either impact. Yep, it seems like he's going to try an impact trick. Or if he had a C4, he could have used that to try and get a kill inside of server. But right now, he's just going to try to delay as long as possible. All right, those Hibana Xcaros will detonate. The impact can only get the top set. Second impact to save the mirror window, but it misses 1 pellet. And as the hole gets opened up, so too will the mirror window. So lots of damage done there with these Hibanas. And only 2 impacts in the pocket means that Dream can open up more holes here. And that's going to be very dangerous for Achieved. In a bit, he'll start getting pressured through those holes. They can shoot under this little island at his feet. And he cannot rotate as Dream is cutting him off. It's even worse as Mark gets the nade from below. Achieved goes down in the first frag for Tempo.
Masterfully done by Tempo Storm there to lock down Achieved and use that frag grenade from underneath to kill him instead of taking the heads-up gunfight, especially with these Banshees that they have laying around. But Dream crawls in and gets rid of one of those. Getting later into the round now, only 1 minute and 10 seconds remain, so TSM has wasted quite a bit of time, and we still have Bolo on a possible rotation. He's all the way at the bottom of main right now, but he could always dip back upstairs in case TSM needs any help on site.
Right now, it's a little bit of the calm before the storm. TSM just waiting out the clock. Dream will eat a lot of damage from that C4, but not enough to kill him. It actually also destroys some barbed wire, so a little bit of utility lost there for the defense, but not enough to note. Over in office, Crazy will get Geo. That's a huge pick. It means logistics is an option for the attack, and another one for Tempo as they start to launch their assault onto the site. Good spot there in the Maestro, but the gunfight is won by Chala miraculously. That's the only one in recent history, though, for TSM. They've been struggling to retain control of their site. The only advantage is the time, but as Crazy begins to plant, that time might not matter. The reload for Chala is lengthy, and he's not able to deny that plant inside of A. The final 2 kills for Tempo, and round number 1 goes to the Storm.
Almost a flawless one there from Tempo Storm. Great pacing, especially over on the cache side. Took their time, used the info game to know exactly what Achieve was doing inside, and used the X-Kairos properly on the wall to make sure that they couldn't get impact tricked. There was a lot of positive things there for Tempo Storm, but also there was a lot of weight that TSM carried. Granted, it wasn't inside of the gunfights, but their delay inside of cache was actually really, really good. It really fell down to what happened inside of construction once Tempo was trying to gain control to get that diffuser down.
Get that diffuser down. They did indeed. Those early picks, though, I mean, so monumental in that round's outcome. And I think the lack of response from TSM was questionable. But there's also to be considered the layers, the depth of the tempo attack. I really love the way that we saw everything mechanically correctly executed there from Tempo Storm. And they had a cherry on top, specifically over by Cash. When they're trying to take Cash, normally that it can be a little bit of a gridlock. It can take some extra time. But because of the nade from below, they were able to get the kill quite early. And you could tell it was rehearsed from Tempo. They knew exactly what they were trying to accomplish on that pick. They opened the wall, forcing the defender inside a cache to play one specific location, thus making the nade deadly accurate. Well done there for Tempo Storm. And if they're able to methodically execute like that, moving forward onto the much more difficult sites here to attack, then I think it's a good future for the attack phase of Tempo Storm.
Well, let's see how they fare facing off against the basement defense. TSM bringing some new toys downstairs that we don't get to have too much fun with too often, specifically the Mira on Chala kicks. I like this pickup, not exactly for the basement for the most part, but haven't really seen what they've done with it. Yes, okay, so it's going to be, well, typically what you'd expect. We're going to place one on Church Wall. See exactly where he's put the other one. I actually don't see it right now, but he's most definitely used it. Oh, he's actually put it inside of Blue facing Oil Pit.
Yep, that's a very powerful mirror window there. It gains you not necessarily control of Blue, but leverage, if you will, and an advantage in any engagements by Blue. Further, if the attack is to break it, they'll need to also make a hole in the wall. And if they do that, then that makes it more difficult for the attack to push into Blue because the defenders in Armory will have a new line of sight onto those attackers. So no matter what, strong mirror window there for the defense. Now, right now, the mirror windows are a factor, but the primary focus for TSM is the roam.
Yeah, I really like how they supported this as well. Bolo, Achieved, and Merc all helping this out just a little bit. Tempo seems to want to play with it as well, as they're actually upstairs right now trying to figure out exactly how they can deal with these roamers. They have the middle of the map handled now, Creator standing inside of Bar, and typically on those roams, that's where you'd see Moto Hatch popped, but TSM not running anything along those lines today. They'd much rather try and force their way down Secret, but they've already been cut off from the Bar connector. They have to hop back upstairs and try and make a rotation to Oil Pit.
Well, that rotation is solid here, and they're going to make... Both of them are going to make it back, just as the bullets start flying through the wall. So nice and safe and snug. They'll return to the site, and assuming the drop-down's not opened up, they should be clear. Yes, indeed, that is the case. Tempo, not able to get their early pick this time around, but that's understandable, given that this is a basement defense.
Well, Bar Hatch now open, more than likely going to focus on Kitchen now as Tempo Storm, but some utility being thrown at them. Mark taking quite a bit of HP as well from that Nitro Cell as he continues his work on the main kitchen hall, breaking up that flooring, looking down into TSM's setup. Not very much time remains though, as they need to try and get a game plan set up on where this diffuser is going to go down. One of the frag grenades dedicated from Mark, but it's actually going to be Creators with the first strike onto Chala, as I believe he gets that through that vertical. Actually, no, all the way from Secret as he's working his way down the staircase right now. Tempo's got a firm grip around the site. They just need to squeeze.
Nice pick there on Bolo. TSM looking not lethal at all. Now, there is one there for Merc onto the C4, but Tempo is keeping up the frags. 2-on-2, and for some reason, Merc's looking the wrong way. A triple for Creators inside of blue. Achieved, able to get one. That's Creators down. No more kills for him. And on the 0-0, he just needs to push into Armory. There it is. The denial on the plant. Achieved, saves it, and TSM get their first round.
Well, the Mira on B1 actually works, so that's pretty cool. Ended up working out for them as the execute went down through blue. Granted, Merc not looking the right way once Creators actually pushed into the door, but it didn't seem to matter. Achieved had everything handled. What a great defense from TSM, especially with that roam game, delaying quite a bit of time, and they made it out practically unscathed. They almost ran into one obstacle, but were able to dip, dive, dash, and dodge out of that one. So looks like for TSM, we're headed to CCTV now as they just claimed their first defensive round.
It's early yet for both teams, but what we're getting already so far from this engagement is a nice, even split of talent between these two. I am definitely detecting that Tempo have put a lot of work into the attacks that they're bringing out here. That last round was quite interesting. The blue execution was a little bit strangled, but I love how even though Tempo looked like they were being forced into lanes they weren't comfortable in, they were not relenting with their engagements, with their forcing the fights. That's impressive stuff from Tempo. Many teams get dissuaded when they don't know what they're up to, where the path is not clear, and they'll start slowing down, but not Tempo Storm.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you're going to execute, you just got to go at it 100%. No, there's no, doing it halfway. You might as well try and do whatever you can in order to force that situation into your favor, even if there is some unknowing factors.
And we have seen no half measures from either team so far. Though TSM has had a little bit of a different story. I mean, yeah, they're not bringing half measures, but I'm noticing a distinct lack of aggression from TSM on the defensive half, and actually, I think that's giving a good position to Tempo. It seems like TSM is playing a delay game, which is sensible on Clubhouse, especially with these attacker bans. I mean, look at that. Ace and Maverick, I don't know, that's a smart strategy for the defense. But I don't know that it's working so well because Tempo Storm seem to be aware of it and countering it fairly well.
And we are also going to see some change up here from Tempo Storm. Dream now onto the Monty, and he's bringing the secondary hard breach as well, so we could see some action from that, possibly used on the garage. Obviously, Kaid is banned, so those panels not going to help as much as they regularly would. I also think we actually have a missing reinforcement on the bottom of the garage as well inside of one of those panels. Yeah, we do actually. Mark's going to go up and smack it right now. This is a very peculiar one, but they also have a Banshee here, so that's telling me that this is more than likely on purpose.
Yeah, it's either a bait, and also they want to avoid the right panel being opened and instead let that left panel be opened, which is smart because it gives you a better angle to defend as a defender. Or B, they made a mistake. And now I don't know what it is. They did reinforce the workshop wall, which is uncommon in this meta. But, TSM will keep their secrets. We'll just speculate. Now, the main server wall gets opened up here, and that's going to make TSM consider the potential for a push in there, though it's unlikely at this moment. Dream is going to be bringing the Montaigne to force out Rafters, and this is the ideal operator for this exact setup right here. Gas canister is detonating somewhere. Oh, he missed it. He hit the light fixture in garage, and a waste of a gas canister as a result. That's truly unfortunate there. Chala, though, is throwing from the top of red, so you can't really blame him.
Absolutely not. That's a very, very long pass. Geo now inside of R2 has Dream to deal with, but nobody else with him. Bolo downstairs runs out of bar connector and bags two. Mark and Jarvis both down, but Crazy gets the refrag. Not onto Bolo, though. It will be achieved. TSM still have garage control as well, so this leaves them off in a really, really good situation.
Montaigne getting ever closer to the Valkyrie. Aggression here from Chala. There goes the Valkyrie inside of garage. Crazy supporting Dream, and now Raptors control well in hand for Tempo Storm. They'll start their push onto the site. They have to deal with the Malusi gadget there, and it'll be easy for Dream as he walks up to it with the shield. Gas canister might even kill Crazy as he stands in it, but no, escapes with a sliver of HP, only to be felled by Merc. Dream ADSing onto Chala will kill the player at top red, and it's now all on the Montaigne as Merc gets a third kill. There it is, the cleanup, and TSM will secure their second round.
Very strong defense there. And as you were notating earlier, TSM playing that delay game, but then Bolo just throwing the fastball right past them. They weren't ready for it. They thought it was going to keep being, you know, the little slider ball. This time came with some heat and got a huge impact on that round. That's exactly what TSM needed to get the ball rolling, especially, you know, paired with that delay. The aggression coming out at random times is really difficult to deal with.
You know, and that's the thing. That aggression was exactly what I was saying was missing from the TSM lineup in the first 2 rounds. It seemed like they were a little too passive, affording a little bit too much opportunity to tempo, but it's possible that was a bait and switch, and we've just seen the switch, because Bolo with that run out on front door, that is a ballsy run out. It does not always get met with success. However, it's possible TSM was lulling tempo into a false sense of security by playing as slow as they had been playing in the first 2 rounds. Now, I'm not so sure. Maybe we're reading too far into it. But at the same time, the pacing for TSM, no matter how you look at it, has been not necessarily ideal, but certainly very strong over these first 3 rounds as a whole.
Yeah, and looking at the other side of the coin for Tempo Storm, they've kept the same pace no matter what. We typically see them really working the execute under that 30-second timer, as well as working the map before that, obviously. For quite some time, they do a good job of roam clearing, making sure that they know where these TSM members are. There isn't very many missteps. The biggest misstep that they've had so far was that run out from Bolo, but it didn't really seem that they had the means to gather that info. So overall, Tempo's attacks have been very, very solid, which I think is why TSM has been forced to try and switch these things up.
As you can see, some holes being made there in the floor. That can allow for impact tricking as well. It's a little bit different, but it works well on this particular wall. And they're also going to open up above, so you can do it either way. Achieved will have options. That way, he doesn't have to worry about Habana Excaros on the lower part of the wall. That's a free pick there for Creators. I don't think he was even expecting it, but Geo will walk into the line of sight of Creators on the drop. Achieve, though, gets aggressive in server. He will be refragged, but at least he's putting Tempo on check, not letting the, well, Tempo get out of control in both senses.
Well, Tempo Storm working on cash right now. They've already felled 2 members of TSM after Achieve just ran into CCTV and ended up picking up Dream. Going to be down some hard destruction, but they still have Crazy to be able to assist. Work with a possible kill here, but that Zophia's actually outside, so please don't toss that C4 just yet. Tempo still doing a very good job of keeping this drone economy up and alive. Creators Jarvis and Crazy still all having their drones. Mark using his earlier on to assist inside of the CCTV and cash room area. So I'd say Tempo's making pretty good pace.
Yeah, they're doing a great job so far, and they do still retain that man advantage. Half the round almost to go. I mean, yeah, they're going to drone. They're going to establish the identities and locations of their last few opposing operators. And the execution should be pretty straightforward from there for Tempo Storm. Unless TSM gets aggro and picks up a kill or 2. You can see there's a flank being attempted here at the top of red stairs, but Tempo is well aware of it. Bolo trying to work some magic. And actually, the 2 players trying to contain him have rotated over to the site push. Does Tempo think he left? Because Bolo hasn't. Merc will get a C4 kill onto Mark, who is trying to play over by the workshop door. There's one for Bolo on the flank, and a second for Bolo. Chala cleans it up as he pushes Logi, and TSM, against many odds, will pick up the round.
Amazing plays here from TSM. Bolo with that late rotation all the way to the top of red stairs. We both thought that they had their eyes on him, but apparently not. There was nothing there to know that Bolo was just lying in wait. All of a sudden, TSM get aggressive and pinch out Tempo Storm. They're not ready for that. And TSM claims yet another round on defense. Very strong stuff. I like how they're messing with the pacing and throwing these curveballs at Tempo Storm to see how they're going to react.
It's certainly working out fairly well here for TSM, yeah. I was a little bit worried at the first 2 rounds. We saw Tempo take it, and then TSM almost lose on their basement defense. Because it looked like TSM was just too passive. Like, they were just getting a little bit distant from the actual match. But we've seen over the last few rounds a complete shift from TSM's in TSM's mentality. And their ability to really dominate these rounds has established itself in no small part thanks to Bolo.
Absolutely not. And TSM overall having a great showing, even though, you know, Geo not having the most fun right now, 0, 2, and 4, but that doesn't mean that he hasn't had any impact over the game. That's the beauty of Rainbow Six. You don't get counts for your utility. It's only the KDA, unfortunately. So TSM overall, great showing so far, but we got some new toys on Tempo's side. Dream picking up the Blitz. This is something that we usually see picked up by, well, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mince, on Dark Zero, which they didn't have the best time earlier on today, but this is definitely going to be paying a little bit of homage towards him. Let's see how Dream handles this.
Well, he's been playing the Montaigne, and it really hasn't been working out well for him. I think that he's just looking for a little bit more lethality, and that makes sense. Dream is the type of Montaigne player who wants to actually get the kills, who wants to win the engagements head-to-head by himself, and I think Blitz is a better operator to do just that. Now, as you can see, it's a strip take, which is odd. You know what? Honestly, Stokes, can you say as confidently as I can that strip has almost been non-existent in club meta for the last, well, since the rework?
Absolutely. No one even roams club anymore. I mean, you really only see every once in a while that somebody will dip on over there, mainly because no one else plays there. So Tempo Storm going for this full clear. Bolo walks in unbeknownst to everyone else, but Creators with a nice crouch bounce recovers, ends up tapping Bolo right in the head. Not going to lay too much time, though. Bolo thought he was going to win that initial engagement, but it goes awry. Although, across the map, we are going to have a nice pickup here from Merc onto Jarvis. Great refrag as well. That's the Thatcher off the board. All of these electronics now stay alive.
It's a big pick indeed. TSM, once again, unrelenting since about round 3, really. Now, in that head-to-head we talked about, Bolo versus Creators. Right now, Creators is coming out on top. Of course, this is a potentially 3-map series. It's best of 3. So, there's plenty of time to change that. L85 will give away the position there of the sledge, Mark, and Merc will fall back all the way into Armory, trying to protect himself, and will continue to wait out this clock as he's on defense.
Well, with only a minute left, Tempo Storm setting up for this execute. You guys just heard the last exothermic charge go off from Crazy. He blows open Moto Hatch. Doesn't seem like they're too worried about anything else, obviously, since they only have Crazy as their hard breach. So now it's down to the gunfights. We'll see exactly how these go. Some drones in sight get eliminated from Chala. Some more utility is poured in. They still have Dream alive as well, who could be a big assistance here since he does have that shield in front of him. He can do exactly this, just rush them down since he cannot get shot from the front, all except for his shoulder. But when you got multiple angles like that, you're more than likely going to lose Dream. You can't just walk at him. Lots of damage pouring in now onto Tempo Storm as every single one of these avenues, all except for the Kool-Aid Rush, could possibly work out. Crazy with the refrag onto Merc, and Creators continuing to hold the cross.
Great control here for Crazy as he will start his plant shortly. But Creators goes down, so now he has no cover. He'll have to pick up these kills by himself. And oh no! He shoots his teammate who picked himself up. Achieved will finish off Crazy. A huge miscommunication for Tempo Storm. And TSM will say thank you very much.
Oh, honey, no. That's your teammate. That's your teammate right there. That's just so unfortunate. That seemed like they almost got it to go as well, Michael. They walked right in the Kool-Aid wall and just started throwing the diffuser down. Got the pick that they needed. They had the cross established, so there wasn't too much there to worry about, all except for a rotation, possibly, well, that we saw later on, from the Malusi coming through Moto. That was truly the only thing that could have stopped them except for a random wall bang. And then all of a sudden, Tempo they just killed themselves. That is the craziest ending to a round I've seen in quite some time.
So, of course, for those of you who don't know, Zofia, as an operator, is the only operator in the game who can pick themselves up from the floor. If they are downed, Zofia's can just hold down a key and they'll be back into action. And, of course, the miscommunication, the confusion that happened there for Crazy is that he's thinking, all right, my teammate is down. I need to go for the frags. I have no other option. So Crazy, with the diffuser in hand, goes for an aggressive push towards the hallway, sees somebody moving to his right, assuming it's a 1v3, flicks it immediately, and kills his teammate. He forgot Zofia can pick themselves up. Now, if in an alternative reality, Crazy remembers that Zofia can do that, he would have waited for it to happen, started a plant behind behind actually the main bomb island in the B bomb site, and then creators would have been up and at him, ready to cover and allow for that plant to go down. And then we could have easily seen Tempo take that round, but it, I guess, is not to be.
Apparently not, but Tempo still has to finish out this match, even though that was just a very unlucky altercation there. Seems that they're going to be able to get the CCTV wall for practically free here. Well, there is no denial ran by TSM. They much rather just play for the wall open, and I can't blame them. Trying to dance back and forth with that wall is just, stopping the inevitable. So they'd much rather handle it in some different way. TSM mostly focused on site, all except for Achieve now, who's actually playing off. Usually we've been seeing Bolo in this position, but it's now Achieved downstairs inside of Secret.
Now, remember, those EMPs only disable. They do not destroy anymore. So the timing on using them is important. And the timing seems to be all right here, as the lifeline impact will go straight on into the site and open up the wall. This is going to give good line of sight for the player all the way in Kennel spawn onto Merc, who's actually challenging the angle. Honestly, the balls on this man. He's got a magnification disadvantage, and he just doesn't care.
The Alda can do anything, Kicks. You got to remember that. 81 bullets, you can't miss that many times, So, Xkyros get eliminated for Dream here, as he's going to put on another set. Going to have to put him a little bit lower unless he wants him impact tricked again. But actually, no, I believe that they've sledged the wall and put him inside. Another impact tricked out. And yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. It's actually going to get the second set, which I believe is from below if they have the hatch open. But no, yet another set are eliminated. And that's exactly what it was. Bolo rotated and used the hatch in order to destroy those.
It might be Geo who's been shooting them from below, because we haven't been hearing the explosive, but whatever it is, it's been working. Last-ditch effort here, and it works out. There's no one to deny the exothermic charge. And now Workshop Wall and Server Wall are both open. This affords a great pinch opportunity to Tempo, and considering this is still a 5v5, it strongly favors the attack. Make it a 5v4 as Geo goes down. A good pick there for creators.
Oh, some bigger picks come in now, but Merc's still alive with that absolute chainsaw of a weapon. She picks up one as well, evening the man count. Only 34 seconds remain for Tempo Storm to do anything, and they need this round desperately. They've rotated the thermite over to the CCTV window, but Merc still playing patiently inside of the cash room. TSM very patient here, still playing around the red stairs right now as they're going to pick up two big frags. They know the last remaining members right outside the breach as he swings back and forth. Merc works his way in, picks up Jarvis, and TSM 5-1 on the split.
Now, a brief reminder here, everyone. Tempo Storm were the team to pick Clubhouse. And right now, it's not looking like a solid pick for Tempo. Now, we've always mentioned how this is decisively a defender-favored map, especially when you have bans like Ace and Maverick. That renders it incredibly defender-favored. However, it hasn't been too much of a problem for the attack so far in terms of utility. The main issue is on the execution. A great example is that last round. I mean, if we take a look at it, take a step back, 5v5, Workshop Wall open, Server Wall open, the advantage is in favor of the attack, especially considering the fact that Tempo had plenty of time. And the fact that Tempo still couldn't win in that kind of a scenario does not bode well for their chances in the future of this map. Now, luckily, Tempo gets to switch now onto defense, and that is going to be a much more comfortable spot for Tempo Storm.
We'll have to see if it's their saving grace or possibly their damning, but I gotta agree with you on all fronts right there. Tempo Storm, with especially both those walls being open, that's the biggest thing. And the factor about that is that when you have both those walls open, there's no room to move in sight. And I think that that's the thing that a lot of people miss, is especially on CCTV, when you have the plat wall open as well as construction, there's no safety. The only safe haven is the top of red stairs, and that's usually where everyone is corralled. So Tempo Storm has, the site practically for free. There's anywhere to really put a diffuser down, especially after you get those initial picks, but you just have to force people to move, and that's exactly what they didn't do. They were just moving back and forth on the windows, hoping that TSM would mess up, when actually TSM played that so well.
Yeah, they did indeed. Now, it's the patented SSG basement defense clubhouse top floor roam. What a mouthful, but that's what we're seeing here for Tempo Storm. And they're going to be doing their best to delay the clear as long as possible. That is the real focus of the roam on the basement. It's not to win off-site, though that has happened. It is to delay and soak up utility to make the execution that will inevitably come on the site that much more difficult for the attack.
Yeah, and looking into the SSG roam, usually we see a lot of teams try and focus on a blue dirt take to try and counteract it very quickly because all of these members have to get back to site. So when you are addressing it in this way and you're going into billiards from strip, what is usually the game plan here? Is it just to try and cut off the rotations from those roamers?
I mean, you've got a couple options, right? You could either pinch the roamers and try to get picks, though that's unlikely to happen. These roamers have direct and understood routes that they've planned and practiced around so that they get back to the site safely. As you can see, it's happening right now. They're going to go ahead and fall back at a decided time, a decided time that was practiced earlier. So, or your other option is to, as you said, go for a more direct take on the site. Tempo Storm have tried to pinch the roamers, and they have failed. The roamers have now made it to what is considered a safe spot, and now have direct access to the site, and will be able to get nice and comfortable on the site. Roamers' job accomplished. They've delayed. So we just saw over those first 2 minutes, Tempo Storm win a decisive victory, even though no shot was fired directly at one player or another. Creators did take some damage, but we're just going to forget about that.
I think that last 30 seconds is the perfect definition of Rainbow Six. Hey, we didn't shoot anything, but we still somehow won the round. Granted, we just stood around and then, rotated back to site a little bit later on.
Right.
It's all about the depth. So Tempo Storm has made themselves, sprinted all the way back to site here. TSM now knocking on the door as they're working themselves in through Moto, but the Banshee's going off. They have to know he's here. And yes, Creators picks up 2 big kills on a Merc and Geo. Both the hard destructors down. It means no more walls can possibly get open, even if they wanted to right now. But they need to get this execute to go off. And yet again, actually, Bolo, he's worked himself down into blue, and he's going to make a big pickup onto Mark. He still sees 2 members at the back of the armory as Chala's worked his way into AK. Chala with another big kill, and Achieve pours in for 1. Dream with the nitro cell, but he's going to have to do double duty here. Achieve throwing down the diffuser. He has no idea where Chala is, but he kills him. Almost gets away, but Chala, quick on the draw with the pistol, takes down Dream. TSM continue on their reign.
What a hero play from Chala. Barely saving it. If the eagle eyes among you will notice, 1 second left on that clock. It could have gone either way, but boy, oh boy, was that a close one. Still won by TSM. I'm impressed. Geo's impressed with himself, rightfully so. A huge round from everyone on TSM. Was Geo the guy who was proning in through Moto door? Am I crazy? Yeah, he didn't do anything.
He didn't do a damn thing.
He didn't do anything. I mean, you are crazy though, Geo. You're insane for sure. Does he still not have any kills?
I don't think he has any kills. No.
You're crazy, though, Gio. You're nuts. It's all right. You're nuts. He's just having one of those matches. They happen.
They happen to all of us. And I think that's something that we don't get to talk about too often either. Like when it comes down to being that support player, you have to go through a lot of crap. You have to go through so much, especially on site where you're practically fighting a war every single round. If you guys have not experienced this for yourself before, go play some smoke. Sit inside a site. Wait for all the utility to get thrown at you and see what these people have to go through. It is not the funnest experience. That's exactly why Geo is not having the greatest amount of time right now. What's up?
I think you're confused, Stokes, because you tell them to go play smoke, and I mean, they might go play smoke, but play it in a comp environment is very different. Because they're probably going to play smoke and they'll be on the other side of the map trying to roam.
They're going to be in strip club. That's what
they're going to be in strip club, enjoying the sights because, I guess that's what they do. I don't. You got to understand the structure, and then it makes sense. But yeah, it's been a really rough match for Geo. However, I don't think that really lies on his shoulders. These kinds of matches happen to everyone, and they're also happening to Jarvis right now. So there you go. Or it is happening to Jarvis, I should say. English is hard, man.
It really is, especially when you gotta talk for so long. But it's still so much fun. As TSM sitting at map point right now. Don't worry, folks. If they do end up winning this round, we still have another map to go through. So don't move off that browser just yet. Tempo Storm. Very similar defense here, all except for the Bandit coming in as well as the Rook from Mark. So it seems as though Tempo wants to try and dance with the devil that is the CCTV wall, and they're more than likely going to lose out. And that's the Excalibur going off right now, or excuse me, Exothermic Charge going off right now as the wall's been open for TSM despite Dream's best efforts.
Excaros are being set up on the garage wall, and they will detonate as well. So control established on the two walls. TSM knows what they're going for. It's a garage server take, and it's working out fairly well so far. Geo also has an exothermic charge left, though, so he can either commit that to the garage wall or go over to Workshop and open up another prong to this attack. Not entirely necessary, but an option nonetheless. TSM droning their way into the garage. Merc will go for the entry. This has been called out, and now the player on Raptors will be aware. Very dangerous prospect for both players, but the Capital Firebolts make this much easier, and in fact, they will result in the death of Mark. Raptors control established for the attack, and now they need to solidify it by pushing up the stairs. That is another task in of itself, as this has got line of sight galore from the site, but none of that is used by the defense. And Merc is allowed to highway himself up to 90 on Raptors and establish a good position to execute for the plant. The second exothermic charge might be used on Raptors' wall to make easier access for the attack, and further to make it so the C4s that are thrown by the defense to go far and not deny the plant behind the rack.
Oh, these are some huge picks coming out for TSM. It's a 5v2 right now, and the utility count for the offense is so in their favor. They have every single means to win this round. Even Bolo taking out Geo is not going to be too big of a deal. Merc kills Chala as well, as this appears to be all in fun. Let's make some people see GGs not look so good once they look at those later. Crazy does still have all of his toxic babes, but I don't know how much that's going to assist him. Are they even watching this? This could possibly be a toss, but hey, Bolo doesn't miss. TSM 7-1. On Clubhouse.
Okay, we're seeing a little bit of good halves here coming out. There you go. Okay, yay, Chala! We saw at least one. Creators will throw in